Hi, internet land. Sunday Scaries with Bucks McGee. We're back.
Don't forget about us. Here we are.
That's right. And we want to make sure you don't forget about us. So we have to figure out some way to fill a little bit of time before we get deep into training camp and preseason storylines start happening.
OTAs are happening and stuff. So we were like, hey, let's talk about some stuff.
Yeah. So what's the best way to do that? Well, let's show the world a little game we used to play in sidecar on various road trips or just driving to the mall for lunch back in the day, and pick who's going to win each game on the schedule.
Yep, and we're bad at it, so don't bet your house or anything on this. Just take it for fun. Take it for fun. But if you're feeling an itch, hey, let me know. Let me know.
So what we do is every other week from here until August, we're gonna do 2 divisions per week, and we try to break them up so there's a little bit of juice each week. So we're gonna start off with probably one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL, and that is the AFC North. Last season, everyone finished above 500. 3 out of the 4 made the playoffs. So before we start go through the nitty gritty, what's your gut reaction on this division going in? Not a lot changing the top of Baltimore, or maybe there's a dark horse in the wings.
Honestly, my opinion, the way that these teams are all stacked, I think it's Baltimore's division to lose. Mm-hmm. I really do. I think if they have a healthy Derrick Henry, I don't know who stops them. Honestly, I don't, because at that point you're sitting there saying, okay, you have Lamar in his legs, but Lamar last year, was great in the pocket. If you can't stop Derrick Henry, this team is going to be extremely, extremely tough to beat. So I want to see what Baltimore's about. I think Cincinnati is there's questions aplenty.
Yeah, especially with maybe it's like an every other year thing with Burrow, where it's like he's healthy, then he's hurt, then he's healthy, then he's hurt. Plus, exactly. the annual 6 games to get going.
Exactly. The wide receiver room's a bit in flux. Mm-hmm. And was it worth letting Mixon walk?
Yeah, new backfield. So anyway, let's start with the division champs, defending division champs. That is Ravens. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC. Lamar Jackson won the Most Valuable Player award. And what's their reward for that? Starting off on the road in Kansas City on opening night.
That's what happens. When you're one of the elite. Not one of those. Well, your percentages are you're playing playing that first game. So yeah, it's Kansas City, but I don't think they're scared of them. I think if you look at that playoff game last year, they made mistakes and lost. Mm-hmm. I don't think they fear Kansas City, and I think even if they were to lose this game, I don't think it does anything to them. I don't think it diminishes anything because it's a long season.
Do you think? Do you give the edge to the champs?
I think you have to.
The title? Okay.
Well, yeah. Game 1, I think you have to give the champs respect. You do. You have to. But if you were to tell me that Baltimore ekes it out on a Tucker 60 yarder, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Right. So you're saying gun to your head, 0-1 to start off the season against the champs.
0-1, I'll give you, but like I said, they're a Tucker kick away from winning. I think it's going to be that close.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, you know what? It's on the road. It's against the champs. It's opening night. It's not, like you said, it's not the worst loss if you do come out losing it. Yeah. So let's assume the loss. They have their home opener against the against the Raiders. How bad is this going to be, especially if they're licking their wounds off KC?
Ooh, yeah. They'll probably win by a couple scores. The Raiders, we don't know what they are. Their quarterback situation is interesting. Now it all depends if Uncle Rico's starting. It could be a surprise, but with the loss of at running back and everything for the Raiders, I don't know what this offense is going to be. So yeah, I think if they're coming off the loss, the Ravens come back strong and, put up a little bit of a statement game.
Yeah. Embarrass old Uncle Rico, poor man.
Man can't get a handle or nothing, man. So close for Uncle Rico, then just bottoms out.
So interesting rubber match of the first 3 games. Another road game. So road, home, back on the road. 4:25. So that pristine early evening slot.
Mm-hmm.
Playing under the star in Dallas.
I could see him beating Dallas. And I don't think anybody's giving Dallas any credit. Now, Dallas is talent all over the place, but they couldn't stop the run last year. Yeah. They couldn't stop the run. Let's be realistic. If Derrick Henry's healthy and he's I don't want to say prime Derrick Henry because let's be honest, the man's body's been through some wear and tear. But if he's close to prime Derrick Henry, they can't stop him. They won't be able to stop Lamar.
The big question with Derrick Henry's health is not necessarily whether or not he's brittle, but does he carry over the curse from Baltimore running backs of recent memory?
No, because you know what? He's been hurt, but he's lasted seasons. He's missed games, but he's lasted seasons. He hasn't totally blown things out. But no, I would take the Ravens over Dallas. I don't trust Dallas right now.
Yeah. So is it, and how much do you split the hair? Whether that's you're taking the Ravens because you don't trust Dallas, or you're taking the Ravens because you think they're legitimately the better team, and this is a flip of a coin.
Because Dallas has to prove they can stop the run. Yeah. Like, let's be honest. Let's say they hold Derrick Henry to 80 yards, right? You still have Lamar. Are they going to be able to handle that? And with the flux that's happening in Dallas, and we'll get to that. But right now, I would take the Ravens. I think it'll be a good scoring game, but I would take the Ravens.
So this next one's going to be interesting because you're 2-1 right now. You head into a Sunday night matchup. If this was last year, we probably would have thought this would be a bit more even, but as we know, the Buffalo Bills are in a little bit of a weird tear down rebuilding influx mode.
I don't know what Buffalo is. Let's be honest. Like, we don't know. They picked up Keon Coleman there in the draft. I love that kid. I think that kid is going to be a great receiver. I think he's not only does he have talent, I think he's charismatic. I think he's going to be good, but we don't know what this offense is going to be. It's going to be all on Josh Allen. The defense has been stripped. Really, like, the defense isn't what it is. But this could be a hiccup game. Could be one of those games where the Ravens come, after, a couple wins, feeling high and maybe, kind of get ahead of themselves. So I'd give Buffalo the win on this. I'll give Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give Buffalo this because if you really look at it, they'd be like 14-3. They're going to be those hiccup games, and it's still early. Your first 4 games of the season, you're still figuring yourself out.
And
let's be honest.
You think the hiccup could also maybe play in part to maybe riding high off and beating dead Dallas on Jerry's start?
Exactly. Because the game is going to be a hyped game, possible Super Bowl contenders. Let's be honest. So when you come off of games like that, unless you have that really laser focus where you're like, all right, next game up, you could slip. And if Buffalo, is playing with their heart, they might be able to pull something out, keep it close. So I'll give Buffalo this one.
Yeah. Well, so how do you feel about that 2-2 then?
2-2. I think at best 3-1, 2-2. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I don't think they're going 4-0.
Yeah. Next one is another divisional. Well, actually, I guess it would be their first divisional match of the season at Cincinnati. Early start, so it's a little bit of not a short week, but a short-ish week. Prime time and then an early slot. So what do you think? Who wins the first tilt between Burrow and Lamar, assuming Burrow's still healthy at this point?
All right. Generally, when we do this, we always, we do the split, home and away and stuff. But I think Baltimore wins in Cincinnati.
Oh, they're going to take the road split. If they split, they're going to take the road game.
I honestly we'll get there. I might surprise you what I think, but no, I'm going to take Baltimore here. I don't.
Okay.
Cincinnati's in some flux. Don't like it. Don't like it.
All right. I'm going to do ourselves a favor and mark off the later loss for Cincinnati on that one.
Yes. Keep that because I'll forget and be like, oh yeah, they're going to win. I'll be like, oh no, I didn't say that.
Now that would set up a very interesting little mini win streak because their next game is at home against Washington, who likely is going to be starting a rookie quarterback. Hasn't been called yet, but you would think based on their quarterback room, Jaden Daniels probably the starter out of the back. New head coach in town, so Washington is a bit of a rebuilding situation. So, do you like the back-to-back wins here?
Oh yeah, I think honestly, I think they beat Washington, but I wouldn't be surprised if the rookie will be starting at that point. At that point, you just you don't want to throw the kid into the fire, but that's just the way the league is now. You wasted that. He's a high pick, so you do what you got to do. But I think he's going to show some talent. But yeah, I think Baltimore takes this.
All righty, so that sets up 4-2. Heading into back-to-back road games, and sir, we're going to put your loyalty to the test because the first of those road games is a Monday nighter, so extra rest for Baltimore at Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, with that guy over here.
Yeah,
this guy,
not the other shoulder. The other shoulder.
No. That man's doing TV now. But wow. Because I've got to be impartial, I will give Baltimore the win, but I will be happy and proud with that week when I'm like, yeah, man, I was wrong. This is one of those games where I plan to be wrong. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'll give Baltimore the win on this one.
That's going to be are you going to lose your voice that night because you've got season tickets again this year?
Are you gonna
lose your voice that night?
Dude, my voice will be gone week 1. I think it might be gone preseason. I don't know what you're talking about. It's going to be a mess. But no, I think it'll be a great game. It'll be Tampa's defense and Baltimore's legs. We'll find out. But I'll give Baltimore the win on that one.
Bucks McGee, you're allowed to be a fan, but remember you've got a podcast to co-host, so you need
exactly
to protect those vocal cords.
Like. So we're 5-2 at this point right now?
We are 5-2. Second of back-to-back road games is their first matchup against the Browns on the road, Dog Pound.
Wow. This is an interesting one. Wow. In Cleveland. Cleveland's defense is good. I just don't know if Deshaun's going to be playing that week. We know we have this is Deshaun playing this week?
Yeah.
That's what we went through last year. But I'm going to I'll give Cleveland a win.
Little slip up on the short week. Okay.
On a short week, I'll give Cleveland a win.
Okay. So the next one. So that's interesting because that could have set up what could have been a potential 5-game winning streak because their next game is a home tilt against Denver.
If Ben DiNucci's quarterback in this team, I'm giving them the win, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Yeah, they're going to. Denver is such a mess. No one knows anything. It's a hodgepodge. Bo Nix might be QBing at this point. I don't know, but yeah, they'll handle Denver.
Great job, Bucks McGee. There's our token Ben DiNucci reference for the show.
Once a week, Ben DiNucci. If you guys don't know him, look him up, man. Guys, quality. Quality.
Next game up is a short week, Thursday nighter. Here's your second Cincinnati Bengals matchup. So you have Baltimore winning the first one on the road. What are they going to do at home on a Thursday night on a short week?
They're beating Cincinnati. I don't like Cincinnati. I think it's a sweep. I don't know what Cincinnati's going to be. I don't like the moves they've made. That's if Joe's healthy. Like we have to be honest here. The Burrow health is an issue. Your wide receivers, you know you're going to sign Chase. Higgins is pretty much gone at some point. You let Mixon walk. Trey Hendrickson wants to leave. This isn't Cincinnati of a couple years ago where everything was kumbaya. I don't know what they are. So I think they beat them. I think they do.
Yeah, we'll dig into them more in a minute, but maybe that window closed.
Yeah.
So next up, we got back-to-back road games. One now, so this is an extra long week, of course. Actually, I probably should have written down where the bye week was. My fault. But in any event, their next game is on the road at Pittsburgh.
Oh, Pittsburgh. Question is, who's the QB this week? Is it gonna be Let's Ride, or is it Justin Fields? Tomlin always has them playing hard. I'm gonna give Pittsburgh the win.
Wow. Okay.
I'll give Pittsburgh the win. I'll give Pittsburgh the win.
The next and that other road game is at the Chargers on a Monday night, so extra long week.
Taking the Ravens. Taking the Ravens. We don't know what the Chargers are going to be this year. Everyone's thinking that they're going to be this kind of a more of a run-heavy team, like a ground and pound kind of gig. I think it's going to be a year or two before you really see that offense and what it really is. So I'm going to take the Ravens.
Okay. Next one, I guess not as short a week as it could be because it's a 4:25 start, but a home game against the Eagles.
Another
battle of the birds.
Another possible Super Bowl matchup. Ooh, wow. This is interesting. I'm gonna take it's a home game, so I'm gonna take the Ravens. It's gonna be close. It definitely will be close, but I'll take the Ravens at home.
So that's I mean, they're right now going in their final four. They've got a pretty good resume set up if they can have wins over the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Buccaneers, and then of course whatever comes out of the divisional game. That's not the worst resume right there.
No, it's not. You know, they are an elite team. You know, their defense is solid. Great players on defense. I know they've got a new defensive coordinator, so some things may be different, but they've got the pieces. So it's just whether they can put it all together.
Yeah. Next up, road game at the Giants.
Yeah. Well, if Waller was still there, I'd probably give the Giants the edge, but he's not. So yeah, let's just move on. Yeah, they win.
Move on. Yeah.
They win. We don't even know who's gonna be QBing. If it's gonna be freaking Danny Dimes or freaking the Cutlet man.
What's it? Tommy Cutlets.
Yes. Tommy Cutlets. We don't even know.
This is a short week. Interesting home game. This is against the Steelers. A Saturday tilt.
Saturday tilt. Now, I gave Pitt the win, correct? Did I give Pitt? No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Yep. Yes,
all right, so we're going to flip. I'm going to give the Ravens the win.
Wow, Baltimore win on a short week. Okay.
Yeah.
And now, talking about short weeks, this is an extra short week because this is one of the Christmas games on Netflix. So, and it's the 4:30 start. So, and it's on the road against Houston, which everyone's high on the Texans this year. So, short game on the road against a hot, young hot Texans team. Well, presumably at this point, who knows? Everybody could be hurt. We don't know. But
exactly.
So, what do you think? At least on paper, everything's square.
Wow. I'm taking Houston.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna take Houston because it's home. It's a Houston. I'm gonna take Houston. You know, I'm on the premise that everybody's healthy and everything, and I think Houston's just taking that next step, especially with the run game. I think they're primed, and with Diggs.
Yeah, and by that point, I mean, it could be a situation where they could clinch their division, but with the status, we don't know what Jacksonville's going to be, and Indianapolis, we don't know what our situation is with AR's health, and then of course Tennessee being full rebuild mode. Who knows? They might actually have that division wrapped up long before then.
Exactly, it might be a point where they're like, you know what, we can just rest, you know. So, but it's home. I'm going to give Houston the game.
And your super flex final game of the season is at home against the Browns.
Let's see. I gave Cleveland week 8, I believe.
Yes.
So I'm giving Baltimore the win. Now that's, on the premise that they still need the win. If not, then who knows what it's going to be. The last 2 weeks are always going to be weird because we don't know if the divisions are sewn up or not. But I'm giving Baltimore the win.
So right now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 and 5.
Okay. I think it's legit.
Okay. So I had 13 and 4 last year, so that pretty much holds serve. And not an easy schedule. So even if you say like, oh, well, you say they're going to lose, you say they're a better team, but they're going to lose one. Well, they have a much better schedule than last year, probably.
Yeah, the schedule is definitely tougher, and there were a couple games where I was like, there could be 2 games that, I miffed on and they could end up winning 14. But 12 to 13 wins, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. So Cleveland, next up is Cleveland. Last year's second place finish, they were 11 and 6, pretty much like we've said into that a couple times on the backs of their defense because Deshaun Watson was a bit of a mystery week to week.
But wait a minute. If he's not playing, we got famous Jameis.
That's right.
So this could be something interesting.
Mm-hmm. Cleveland starts off at home against the Cowboys.
All right.
Thought you were going to start playing the coffin song.
Let's see. Home against Dallas. I'm giving Dallas the win. I think I'll give Dallas the win.
On the road against Jacksonville.
The Jags are in a bit of some flux. I'm gonna give Cleveland. I'm gonna give it to Cleveland.
I was gonna say I won't cry if you say the Jags get scraped.
That's what you wanted me to say. Don't lie.
Oh, I did. I won't deny it. When it comes to the Jags, I have full bias. I can't hide it. Week 3, they're 1-1, and remember we've got a 1-1 on the schedule already for them. Mm-hmm. So week 3, home game against the Giants.
Yep. Give me Cleveland. Cleveland. I think the Giants are horrible.
Safe to assume the AFC North goes 4-0 against the Giants.
I hope I'm wrong and the Giants all of a sudden just light it up. But no, man, there's nothing the Giants have that makes me say, wow. Now, mind you, their defense plays with heart. I give the Giants defense credit. They always seem to play above when it comes to their defense, but their offense is putrid. They have nothing. So I'm giving it to Cleveland. 3
straight road games. At Vegas, at Washington, at Philly.
Okay. So now we've got the Raiders. Oh, man.
The Aiden O'Connell show.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Cleveland.
Okay.
The offense of the Raiders is just I can't handle it.
I can't handle it.
I can't handle it. Like, the run game is we don't know what it's gonna be now. The quarterback situation's rough. Like their defense is good, but I think Cleveland will have enough because Cleveland's defense is good. So at that point, could be and end up being like a 10-6 defensive game.
I was almost gonna say 6-3. I guess you've got a little bit more faith than I do in the offense.
Because there'll be either a fumble return for a touchdown or something like that. That's what I'm shooting for.
Going into the nation's capital, what you got?
Wow. I'm going Cleveland.
Wow, 4-1.
4-1. That defense, I think, is just so good that I think they'll stymie the young rook.
Keeping it going into the city of brotherly love, or this is where they fall back to reality?
This is where some reality hits. They'll lose to Philly. They'll play well, but I think Philly will beat them.
Yeah. Their first tilt against the Bengals at home.
Wow. Wow. I'm going to give it to Cincinnati. I'll give it to Cincinnati. I'll give Cincy that game.
You can't hate on the Bengals the whole show.
I can't. They can't become my Buffalo Bills. Like, I got to give them something.
That means they will come off that with a rebound win against the Ravens. And then
See, look how interesting I've made it.
That's right.
Look at that.
We got 5-3 home tilt against the Chargers.
And I believe that game is the last game before the bye week, right?
Possibly. I dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, I think week 10 is their bye week. So against the Chargers at home, I'll give it to Cleveland. I'll give it Cleveland.
Ooh. Okay. That's 6-3. Look at us. We're high on the Browns for some reason. And I think you're going to be high on the Browns for one more because the next one is a road game against the Saints.
Oh, okay.
You got to put the impartial cap on.
Okay. Against the Saints. Wow. This is a hiccup. I'll give it to the Saints. I'll give the Saints this one. Okay. I'll give them a win.
Short week home game against the Steelers. Thursday nighter.
Ooh.
We're already past the bye, right? You got the buys in front of you.
Wow. Pittsburgh. I definitely think they're going to split. So I'll give them the home game.
Okay. Even on the short week.
On the short week. Like I said, I don't know what the Steeler offense is going to be, but I'm going to give it to Pitt. Okay. Let me give it to them.
Sorry. Extra long rest here because that's Thursday night. Their next game is a Monday game on the road in Denver.
I'm making Cleveland look good. It's Denver, man. There's no hope. There's no hope.
Unless it's Benvenucci.
Unless Benvenucci, then it's a flip. It's a flip. But in all likelihood, it's like I said, Bo Nix, and yeah, it'll be a mess.
All right, here's the next Pittsburgh game. Now, why they gave the Browns the Steelers twice in 3 weeks, I have no idea. But you gave the W, so you're going to split these?
Yes, I will split these.
All righty. So the 3 games we have left to decide because we already know what the final game is. Home game versus the Chiefs.
I'm giving it to the champs. I'm going to give it to the champs because at this point, I'm thinking Famous is playing at this point because I just don't know. I'm hoping it's a full year of, Watson. We finally find out what it's about. But I'm going to give it to the champs. I think the champs, are still going to be playing hard and trying to figure things out still, but I give it to them.
Interesting one next. This is a short week against the Bengals. Another Thursday night game. There's so many primetime games at the end of the schedule for the Browns. I hope you like watching the Browns from Thanksgiving on, sir.
I just give them losses the rest of the year. So this is the split. So
this is the win?
This is the win.
Okay. Wow. 2 short week wins for the Browns.
It's going to be an interesting season, so I gotta spice it up.
Yeah. And a Sunday nighter at home against the Dolphins.
Wow. The Dolphins are interesting. This is the hiccup. I'm going to give it to Miami. Let me give Miami the win. I'm going to give Miami the win.
So that's 11-6. 2 from last year. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9-8. Does that feel good based off of 11-6 last year? Does that feel good based off of what the Browns look like now?
I just don't know what the offense is. Like I'm just there. I don't trust the quarterback position, so it's fine for me. I think it's legitimate. It's a tough schedule. Like if you really look at it, like there are some pockets where there's winnable games for sure, but you got Dallas, you got Philly, of course, your own division, and then you got the champs and Miami is solid. So it's those last couple of weeks, that last 5 weeks in theory is tough.
That's brutal. And we even have them losing 4 of those last 5.
Yeah, like I don't, and I hope that maybe I'm wrong, and they went 4 out of 5, but I don't trust them. Their defense is going to tire out. Their defense can't carry them like that all year. Can't be done.
Hot start just to falter at the end, for the nation to see.
But if you look at that, they couldn't. That first 5 games is like okay, except for one real game, you're like okay, it's winnable. So it's gonna be fun.
Halfway through the show and 2 divisions down. We are moving right along.
Boom, boom, boom. We are hard hitting and to the point.
You want to go rapid fire on your team with your favorite head coach to rib, Mr. Mike Tomlin?
Oh yeah, let's talk about Mikey. He gets extended for 3 more years. People of Pittsburgh, you guys just like mediocrity. I swear, I don't get it. Like I understand, not a losing season, but when a good chunk the last probably 3 or 4 years has been 500 ball, there's a point. But hey, now you've got Justin Fields, who could be the future, and Mr. Right Now, Russell Wilson. He's the right now guy. Let's be real.
Well, if Justin Fields is the future, that's going to be an expensive future because for some reason they turned down his option. You could have had it. You could, if you were to take a flyer on Justin Fields, the least you could have done is exercise that option so you get one more year of fairly cheap quarterback play.
So let's really look at this then real quick. You don't take his his 5th year. Let's say he lights it up. There's going to be a team that's going to say, okay, this is the real Justin Fields. We need a quarterback. New York Giants. Russell Wilson, let's say he just screws the pooch and he's done. Where do you go at quarterback? It's not like the Steelers throw money around on free agency. So what are you going to play 500 ball? And this year's draft class really isn't lighting it up at quarterback, I don't really believe. So you're going to be mid-draft pick and scrape around for a quarterback. So you put yourself in a bad situation.
Yeah, they picked the wrong year to not suck because this was the year to take a quarterback at the draft.
But that's okay. Mike Tomlin, 3 more years. Go for it.
All right, so they start off the season 3 out of 4 on the road at the Falcons, at Denver, home game against the Chargers, and at Indianapolis.
Okay. So Falcons first. Okay.
Kirky's debut.
I'm gonna give the Steelers the win.
Wow.
I'm gonna give the Steelers. Yeah, the Steelers. Here's the thing: the Steelers' defense is solid. The Steelers always have a good defense. The offense is gonna be interesting, but that's the same thing on the Falcons side. We don't know if Kurt's gonna be true 100%. If he takes one hit, he's coming off the injury, and it wasn't like they really did anything great in the draft because we all know who they took with that first pick.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see the Steelers sneaking one and stealing it. So yeah, I'm going to take the Steelers.
I was going to say, here's the thing: you apparently hate the Falcons more than the Saints.
Oh no, it's close, but the Saints still hold that place in my heart. Cam Jordan, me.
At Denver, what you got?
It's Denver, man. I don't even know if I'm ever gonna. There's got to be a team I gotta give Denver a win to, but no, I'm not here. I'm giving it to the Steelers.
You don't think Ben's gonna be starting week 1?
No, he's still gonna be warming up. Week 6 is DiNucci time, but right now, Denver's still gonna be trying to figure out how to tie their shoes and get to the stadium. I'm taking the Steelers on this one.
2-0. So talk about Steelers country getting all hyped up behind Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, there you go.
Home game, Chargers.
Home game, Chargers. This could be a little bit of a slip up. I'm going to give the Chargers this one.
Okay.
I'm going to give the Chargers this one. I think the Chargers are going to be competitive. I think they're going to try to figure things out. But I'm going to give the Chargers this one.
At Indianapolis. Be careful on my heart.
Wow. I'm going Indy, and here's the reason why. I think they got themselves a steal with their wide receiver they drafted this year. I think that kid is really good.
Oh,
I think he's
Don
got,
Mitchell. Yeah.
yep, I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. That defense is still solid. AR, I think that this is the year. So he's gonna come out. They're gonna be really competitive. I think they pull this out.
Yeah, I would hope with a season and 2 camps under his belt, Steichen would actually let him throw a little bit and be a quarterback, not just an option.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have I think the running back is gonna be really key in the receiving game and such. I think they're gonna surprise some people. So I'll give them that.
Yeah, interesting rubber match here after a 2-2 start. Home game, primetime Sunday night versus the Cowboys.
I'll give it to Dallas.
Okay. Wow.
I'll give it to Dallas.
What a hot start, 3 in a row.
Well, here's the thing. I think Dallas will be able to probably slow down their running game a little bit, but I don't think the Steelers can go point for point right now. I don't think.
Yeah. And we know Najee Harris has lost his job now. So.
Oh, Najee. Oh, Najee.
At the Raiders.
All right. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I'll give them the win over the Raiders.
Okay.
I'll give them the win over the Raiders.
All right. Back to 500. It's another Sunday nighter. So that's 2 Sunday nighters in the first 7 games. And ironically enough, I noticed this when they did schedule announcements.
Mm-hmm.
They are playing the Jets are playing both teams they lost to in those 2 AFC title games they went to. So this next one is at home versus the Jets.
The Jets win this game. Honestly, this is an all or nothing year for the Jets. They've got a great defense. That offense, they've got playmakers. So this is it. It's all or nothing. I think the Jets pull it out.
A little bit of an extended week. Home again on Monday, playing the other New York team. And I don't mean the Bills.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Just give that to the Steelers.
Poor Giants.
It's just bad, man. You got nothing. I don't know, man. Like I said, I hope I'm wrong. And they go 9-8 and they got hope, but I don't see that happening. It's really sad when you're like, I hope I go 9-8.
Yeah. Next up at Washington.
At Washington, huh? Okay. Steelers. I'll take the Steelers. I think Washington will be competitive. It's growing pains. Like I said, at that point, they're definitely going to have the rookie, and he might surprise some people. But right now, I think the Steelers are a better team.
Well, that will set up what will be, based on our previous picks, a 3-game winning streak over the Ravens.
See, look, I'm setting this stuff up.
And
draw.
That, if you're keeping score at home, folks, is Pittsburgh's first divisional game of the season. All their divisional games are in the second half of the season. How does that make sense? Not one divisional game the first half of the season.
I want to be the guy who comes up with the schedule because this formula you got, it's impressive. It's impressive.
Yeah. I don't think that 17th game is doing them any favors.
No, not at all. This is ridiculous.
So that's a 1-1 tilt. They beat Baltimore. They lose to Cleveland. Now they get their first Bengals game on the road.
All right. First Bengals game on the road against Cincy. I'm giving Cincy the win.
Okay. Then they beat the Browns. Now they got a road game against Philly.
Ooh, I think Philly is so weird, right? They really are but I think I think it's going to be a really close game. I'm giving it to Philly.
Okay. 2 losses in a row because that's the other Baltimore game. And actually, at least 2 losses in a row because the next game is at home. It is the other Christmas game, so super short week. It's Christmas on a Wednesday against the champs.
Wow, this is going to be tough. Wow, I'm going to spice it up. I'm taking the Steelers.
Wow.
Steelers, because the Steelers are home, right?
Yes.
Fighting for the playoff life. I'm taking the Steelers.
And are you splitting with Cincinnati? You gave
Yes.
them the loss. Okay. So
I
that's
will split.
2 wins in a row to end the season. Does that get the Steelers in the playoffs?
I don't know. I don't know.
2, 4. This is off of 10-7 last year, preserving Mike Tomlin's above 500 streak. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9-8. So he finishes above 500 for yet another year.
I'm like Nostradamus, man. I am Nostradamus. It's a guarantee. 9, 8, 10, and 7. Put it in the books. Put it in the wild card team. Get ready for it, baby. All right. All right. I'm proud of myself on that one. So intrigue there at the end.
So I'm looking ahead at Cincinnati's schedule. You already said once you are down on Cincinnati. So through the other 3 teams, we now have Cincinnati with a 2-4 divisional record.
Bengals fans, don't hate me. Don't hate me. It's just I don't know what the hell you guys are doing over there. This team is rough right now. Keep Joe healthy. That's all I can tell you. Keep Joe healthy.
Yes, please.
Let them play at least 11 games, no issues. 11, 12.
They start off the season at home against the Patriots. Softball-ish.
It is. It is. Like, yeah, they're beating New England. New England is definitely – I think New England's going to end up being a team that catches something towards the end of the year, but they're going to be trying to figure stuff out. So, yeah, they beat New England.
Yeah, especially if it's Brissett or a rookie, and obviously Belichick's probably not the one. Well, I guess he's gone. So I guess that
Gerard
Mayo have faith in starting a rookie quarterback where Bill didn't for many, many years.
No, Brissett, I think, is going to start. Your boy.
This is right. I'll tell you one thing. There are a couple of years recently where I missed the man.
The man is solid. He gets it done.
At Kansas City, this is the game. This is one of the leaks before schedule night. Everyone was hyping this. Well, Patty versus Joe.
Wow. At Kansas City. See, that's the problem. Kansas City. I don't like Kansas City at all this year, but I don't think it's Burrowhead anymore, so I'm taking the champs.
Okay. So that's we'll have to remember that for the AFC West because that's a 2-0 start for the Chiefs.
See that? Don't worry, you start hot. You know what happens when I get you starting hot? You bottom out at the end.
Right. or you just completely lose both, or you just lose both of them. Who knows?
See that? I don't discriminate. I keep it fair.
Next 2 you would think are a bit layups. Get your wheels going. Home game against Washington. Road game against the Panthers.
Yeah, I'll give them both the wins. I think the Washington game will be maybe a little more competitive. I think Carolina is just a hot mess still. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I hope that one's competitive because it's a Monday nighter. I know either that or we're going to bed early.
That's true. I think we had that a couple times last year. We were like, yep, all right, let's end this early. We were like, we were all excited. We were like, what happened here?
So next up, we got their loss against Baltimore. So that's 3-2. 3-2 start coming off of last year with Burrow's injury. That's not too bad, right?
Right. Oh, but look who they got next.
At the Giants.
Yep, chalk it up. 4-2. That's so bad. I got the Giants going like 0-16 at this rate. It's horrible.
Technically 5-2 because we have the Cleveland victory.
True.
Now, back-to-back home games here, Philly and the Raiders.
Okay, I think they lose to Philly.
Okay.
I'll give Philly the win. And I'm giving the Raiders the win.
Wow. Okay, a little slip-up game.
A little slip-up game. I'm going to give the Raiders the win here.
So that will become a 3-game losing streak because you took the sweep for Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Going into a road game against the Chargers.
Against the Chargers. I think we're still trying to figure out who the Chargers are, so I think Cincinnati ekes it out.
Okay. That sets up the first of back-to-back wins because we have our Steelers victory.
There we go. Look at this.
2 road games next. At the Cowboys on a Monday night and then a short week at the Titans.
Wow. It's Dallas. Dallas. Wow. This is interesting because, like I said, Dallas is potent. But I'm gonna give it to Dallas.
And this is Burrow time if he's healthy, because it's the end of the season now.
Oh, that's true. He's like mid-season form. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
He's like I've only been playing for 3 weeks. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna give it to Dallas.
Okay.
I'm going Dallas, and then they'll handle Tennessee. Like Tennessee has parts, but they're a couple years away. You know, they've new coach and stuff like that. I'll give it Tennessee.
Now the last 3, we have 2 losses already. The game in the middle is against the Broncos. So will it be loss, win, loss, or be a 3-game losing streak to end the season?
At this point, Denver is.
I mean, we already know if it's Ben, it's going to be a 3-game loss.
That's true, but we don't know. So I'm gonna give them the win against Denver. I think Denver is just in flux. No one knows what it's going to be.
All right.
They're like the Giants of the AFC right now.
You may not be wrong.
Giants fans are coming after me, man. This is rough, man. People are coming after me this year. Really, they were nice last year. This is gonna get rough.
3, 5, 7, 9. Another 9 and 8. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, another 9 and 8. So we've got the Ravens at 12 and 5, and 3 9 and 8 teams. Does that sound about right for your 2024 AFC North?
Okay, so there's probably a game up or down with them, but I honestly feel that Baltimore is the class of that division. Now, if Cincinnati, had got the wide receiver situation handled, and some, kept Mixon, I would feel different. But right now, I don't know what the run game is going to be. I think they cut Mixon way too soon. Wide receiver wise, they got to pay Chase, and they're going to have to pay him a ton now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know what Jay Jetta's got over in Minnesota.
Yes.
And all these guys were sitting waiting to see what the other one got. So the domino has fallen, because don't forget, CeeDee Lamb in Dallas is now sitting there saying, hey. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think Cincy has that kind of money, and they're just not that kind of team. So this is basically probably the beginning of the end of that little window that they had.
Yeah, and that's an interesting situation with Chase's contract negotiations, because you could have a situation where he's banged up again like last season, and they're like, okay, well, maybe we get him on a discount because he's, put in 2 hurt years in a row. But if he puts in a second hurt year in a row, obviously that's not good for your playoff chances.
No, exactly.
And that brings that closed window up a lot faster.
Exactly. And, you got Trey, Hendrickson, who's like, he's ready to leave. Other guys there's not going to be enough money to go around. There's not enough. So what do you do? So is it going to be a situation where you hope Burrow's healthy and you just keep bring in subpar, 2s and 3s at the receivers, and hopefully that he elevates them? Like, it's a serious situation. Can you afford to have your money quarterback and a money wide receiver, and then a bunch of, whatever lint or whatever coins you find in the dryer to pay out the rest of the team?
Yeah. That's what you just hope that the NFL keeps making so much more money year over year, because it increases the salary cap, because that's the only way to sustain the spending on all these stars.
I think that what they should have done is when they were able to trade, Higgins, you should have gotten what you got. At this point, you guys are hoping to do something this year, but I don't think you have the talent. I don't think you do.
Yeah. Well, that's wraps up the AFC North. So aside from the Giants just being the whipping boy of this division, what's your final thought on our schedule?
I know. So Giants fans, I do apologize. It's just, you let Saquon walk, and oh, by the way, Sterling Shepard signs a 1-year deal with Tampa. Get ready. The man's going to put up like 700 yards. He's going to be a beast. He's going to be what the Giants fans hoped he would be.
I was going to say, if there's anything else to rub salt in the wound.
I know. It's so bad. It's so bad. But besides that Giants fiasco, really, dude, the NFC East needs like 2 hours, because it's just going to be a mess. But this division is – in a perfect storm, all the teams in this division could win 10 or more games. But I just don't trust anyone besides Baltimore. I think Baltimore did what they needed to do, and they got King Henry. I think he could be the X factor because I think the AFC is a little more wide open than it has. Of course, you give the champs their due. You have to. But I still don't trust their wide receivers. Yeah, you brought back Mecole Hardman, whoop-de-doo. But here's the deal. For them to win their third in a row, everyone's going to have to be healthy. It's going to have to be a perfect type of season for them. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if the Chiefs have that. I think Baltimore, if they're going to get to the Super Bowl, this is the year. I really do.
Yeah, and they could be in a situation where they can really take it easy for like 3-4 weeks in a row, maybe.
And then Cincinnati is just, we don't know what's going to happen. They have to spend money. If they're not going to spend money, then they're going to be maybe a 10-7 at best team. Cleveland, it all depends on Deshaun Watson. Is he the guy that you got that was from Houston, or do you have this new version that's just not good?
Yeah.
And it's going to be, Jameis Winston for 6 or 7 weeks. He'll put the ball in the air. He'll give you 40 touchdowns and 40 interceptions in a season because he did that in Tampa.
Yeah. For me, this is a tough one because Baltimore on paper seems so far and above these other three clubs. Cincinnati should be good, but they've got so many question marks. Cleveland has the biggest question. Cleveland has like the best side on one thing and the biggest question mark on the other thing.
And then the question is,
cancel each other out.
Is that question mark at least decent enough to at least get you into the playoffs? Like, are you going to play well enough to be that team that no one wants to play in the playoffs? Or are you going to stumble in and it's like, yeah, okay, no one cares?
Yeah.
And then you got the Steelers who are like literally, 9-7, guaranteed, whatever. Or sorry, 9-8, whatever.
They're the wild card to me because there's nothing going right for them, but they've still got enough pieces with Watt, Hayward. If Rush just isn't terrible or Fields has some resurgence, that could be enough to get them to 10 or maybe even 11 wins.
It could, but it's one of those things where the offense has to play near perfect, and you're hanging everything on the defense. Now, if Watt gets hurt, that's a wrap. Because we've seen how they are when Watt gets hurt. Watt needs to be healthy. And those other pieces, Hayward's good, but he's older. Like, let's be realistic. They're not that young in a lot of spots anymore. So it's like a win-now situation. So are they going to be a team that puts up barely 20 points, but the defense only gives up 13, and they somehow push their way through into the playoffs? Then okay. Then, everyone's got to be healthy, and that gives them a shot. But I just think Baltimore has that room where, if they lose 2 games in a row or 3 games in a row, you're like, all right, they're going to bounce back. These other teams, it's like more than two losses in a row, you're starting to question things.
Yeah. Well, that was a pretty good final word, but we got to do a real final word. So Buccs McGee, AFC North, take us off air.
AFC North, Baltimore fans, you're welcome. You're welcome. Cincinnati fans, I'm sorry. Get healthy. Sign some people. Get some money. Steelers fans, mediocrity. Hey, roll with it, man. Roll with it, man. I'm happy for you, but you guys are really going to have to win like 11 or 12 games. In Cleveland, famous Jameis, man. Get ready for it. He's going to throw some great ones and throw some ducks. But you know what? The guy had LASIK, so it could be 30 touchdowns and only 12 interceptions. We'll find out.